Hello, everyone. It's Lydia with the Avanti Wellness Podcast and YouTube channel. And just like I say every single time I start my intros, I'm excited to introduce you to today's guest. I'm sitting here with Heather Florio. Hi, Heather.
Hi, Lydia. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks for being here. Heather is the CEO of Desert Harvest Inc. And if y'all are watching on YouTube, you can see the lovely aloe vera behind both of our backs, which is really fun. I feel it feels very biophilic. We're sitting in nature. So it's a lovely scene. And I can't wait for us all to get to know Heather and Desert Harvest better. And for those of you who are regular listeners and subscribers, you know that I just like learning about all the different natural products that are out there so that we can make better informed decisions about our health and our wellness. So I'm going to, like I always do, ask Heather to introduce herself to us and so we can get to know her a little better.
Yes, thank you. I am the CEO of Desert Harvest. For those that don't know, Desert Harvest has been around for a little over 31 years now, providing pelvic and sexual health products for predominantly women and about 25% men all over the world. And so we focus specifically on making sure that we're making products that are beneficial for our community. And for that reason, I was nominated and then I just won the award for Wellness Expert of the Year by Bella Magazine. And
Congratulations.
thank you. I was very grateful for that. And, it just validates all of the amazing work myself and my staff get to do on a daily basis. And I am married with all grown boys. So I'm an empty nester. They're all off living their lives, married otherwise. And so Desert Harvest is a family company. So I am second generation owner and throughout the years, I have been refining the line and focusing on a variety of different needs. I'm also the co-author of the book, The Musculoskeletal Mystery, How to Solve Your Pelvic Floor Symptoms, that I wrote with a clinician at Duke University. And the list goes on.
Awesome. Is that on Amazon? Because I can link to it.
Yes, it is. It is on Amazon
Oh,
or on our
good.
website.
I'll put that in the show notes. Will you go back and tell us how Desert Harvest got started so long ago?
Yeah, definitely. So, my aunt had the bladder disorder called interstitial cystitis. And for those that don't know what interstitial cystitis is, it is like having the worst UTI that you have ever had, but it never goes away.
Oh my
So
goodness.
the lining of the bladder has been impacted as a result of this, and roughly 8 to 12 million men and women have interstitial cystitis in the United States, predominantly affecting women, again, about that 75-25 ratio. And my aunt had this, and early 90s, if we think we're still trying to fight for healthcare access in this day and age and to be researched, and 1993 was the first year that women were required to be included in medical studies, and we started actually being researched. And so back then, interstitial cystitis, many clinicians didn't even recognize it as a valid condition. It was all in their head. And so as a result, we started looking for alternatives for my aunt, happened to stumble across some random aloe product at some natural products conference, took the entire bottle and slept through the night. But then we had to figure out how to make it safe for long-term use and in high doses. And we developed the patented formula that we still use today.
That's awesome. Can you just tell us a little bit about what it does? Anything with the word itis is basically inflammation. So does it calm the inflammation in the bladder?
We are actually studying at Wake Forest University right now, where we're doing drug trials. And we are actually, so we've done a lot of clinical research over the past 31 years on this product. In our double-blind placebo-controlled studies, 87.5% have a respond with some or complete relief of all symptoms, and that includes burning, frequency, pain, nocturia, which is waking up at night to void. And so this is a whole complex thing with the Desert Harvest aloe vera. We theorize, so the one thing that aloe vera is very high in is glycosaminoglycans. And as a result, it's the gag layer, the urothelial cell layer in your bladder is compromised in an interstitial cystitis patient. And so you can imagine anything that flows through there is like battery acid, especially if it's acidic. And so you have to follow a very special diet. And with the Desert Harvest aloe vera, we are theorizing, and we're actually studying this at Wake Forest, to watch how it actually interacts with the urothelial cells of the bladder, because we have always theorized that the lining, it is creating its own protective lining, the aloe vera.
Oh, like a mucus membrane?
Yes. Based on the glycosaminoglycans. It is coating the bladder so that when anything passes through, one, you've got a barrier. Two, it's got, you mentioned the anti-inflammatories, the analgesics. There's so much to aloe vera, though. There's over 200 nutrients in the aloe vera plant, and 75 of them are active. So we're talking active enzymes, antibacterials, antifungals, antimicrobials. So you've got just this power pack. And for us, it is all about following it all the way from field to bottle for us. So when we're in the fields, if once we cut a leaf off of a plant, we are processing that within 20 minutes. And that is because the minute you cut an aloe vera leaf off, if you've ever seen the ones in the grocery store or things like that.
I have some in my backyard.
Yeah. So the minute you cut that off, malic acid begins to eat away at the nutrients. And within 6 to 8 hours, there is no nutrients in the aloe vera plant. And then you just got really expensive water, because aloe vera is like 98.75% water. And so as a result, it is very important for us to maximize the nutrients. The minute we cut that leaf off, within 20 minutes, we're preserving it. We're utilizing our patented process to extract all of the anthraquinones, which are latex chemicals. So what you typically see for aloe vera in the health food stores, you'll see words like digestive aid, things like that. And these are meant to be used in short-term bursts. Whereas what we're creating is long-term and high doses. Anthraquinones that are naturally, if you ever open up an aloe vera leaf and you look inside, you've got the gel, and then right below you've got this slimy, thin yellow layer. Those are the anthraquinones. And they act as an irritant to the colon and can be carcinogenic long-term, cause liver damage, kidney damage. So this is very, very important to understand. This isn't the stuff you find in the health food stores.
Well, and I want to add and put it in layman's terms, like what you're describing is why it's so important to know your manufacturer, which is why I interview companies so that the CEO can talk about the importance, the quality control, the mindfulness that they do when they're not just trying to make a buck, they're trying to help people's bodies heal and have relief. And products don't heal you, your body heals you. You only have to give your body what it needs to have a healthy environment so that it can heal itself. And I am a big proponent that plants have been around a lot longer than humans have, and they've been able to figure out survival. So they have all these factors that even are the factors like that. You're talking about that part that is damaging to us. That's because that's their protection against predators. And so you've got to get that. I guess y'all extract that or something in your process.
Yeah, that's part of our patented process is we have a unique patented process to extract all of the anthraquinones, all of the insoluble fiber. We freeze dry instead of no heat treating happens because that kills
You'll
it
kill,
again.
yeah,
The
the
active
enzymes.
nutrients. Yeah.
Right.
And so for us, just to give you an idea, we see these beautiful plants behind us, and imagine an aloe barbadendis miller leaf is roughly like, about 4 feet long when we harvest it. And it takes roughly 89 of those to make one bottle of our
Wow.
180 capsules of our super strength aloe vera, the
Wow.
SSAV.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I mean, people
Hmm.
don't understand, when you're extracting stuff out of plants,
Hmm.
how much fiber and how much product has to come down to a capsule, right?
Exactly. And I mean, you talk about fraudulent products and knowing your sources for years. So I started talking in 2016 because Bloomberg did a study in which they pulled aloe veras from Walmart shelves, CVS shelves, Walgreens shelves, and they tested them all. And they found absolutely no levels of aloe vera in any of their products that they
Oh
put
my
on the shelf.
gosh. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
And that's
think
because,
about it.
again, oh,
Well,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, again, that's because, again, it's water too. And then two, there's an ingredient called maltodextrin, which on the initial analysis of the test and the certificate of analysis, you could test for it and it could show up as aloe vera. You have to do more in-depth testing to find out that it's not actually aloe vera and it's maltodextrin.
Right. And what was coming to mind is what you just educated us on. And I'm just going to remind everyone what you said, which is once you cut it, it starts losing those properties. So if the manufacturer of whoever's making those products where there's no aloe vera present, it might be because they're cutting it and they're letting it sit around and it's not getting processed quickly. So knowing your manufacturer cares about the integrity of the products that they're creating and they want them to help you, not just sell you a pill. This is why it's so important to love your manufacturers and support
Exactly.
them, right? Support the
Yeah.
guys who are doing good. That's what I
Yeah.
believe in.
I agree 100%. I might be biased, but for
I'm on
us,
I'm on your train. I understand.
it's always been, people over profits for us, and that is what we've always led with for over 31 years. You can mention, I won't mention names of products, but there are
Thank
there are
you.
plenty of juices that are out on the market that you can buy at Walmart, other things like that, and we have tested those again. Flatlined, nothing, no nutrients whatsoever. It's just expensive water. And again, that goes back to that harvesting, because juices, there's only two ways to preserve it. There's either you have to use citric acid, other preservatives like that, or you have to pasteurize it, which means you've just heat treated it and
And
just killed
killed.
all the everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you use iodine testing? Or is it more detailed than that?
Oh, no. We're doing HPLC
Okay.
testing and we do this with every batch because we're looking at so many things where it has to meet a certain level for nutrients before it comes out of production. It has to be tested to ensure that all the anthraquinones were extracted. And so we undergo multiple levels of testing, and then it goes for our C of A testing, our certificate of analysis for every batch. And then from there, usually not every batch, but we send it out for third-party testing about twice a year.
Yeah. When I saw on your website that you had some mushroom products, I believe. Is that right? Okay.
Yes, we just introduced those this year. We were really excited. For us, the lion's mane and the turkey tail specifically are the ones that we chose just because of the immune support benefits of turkey tail and the neurocognitive benefits of lion's mane. We chose those specifically for our demographic because we thought that would meet their overall needs. And it was very important to us that the extraction process, that the same kind of thing. We're looking at the beta glucans to make sure that we've got the right kind of profile, when we're reaching out to our sources to get, the mycelium. So
Yeah. I I told you earlier before we hit record, I took a mushroom course with a mushroom expert from the United States. He's up in like Oregon or Seattle or something where there's a lot of mushrooms growing wild.
The land of Paul Stamets.
Exactly. It wasn't
Yeah.
him, but yes, it was up there. Anyway, it was a like 6-week course, and there were lots of higher level people than me in the class.
Mhm.
I was just curious, about for my own benefits.
I
And
love it.
he recommended that we test with iodine our mushrooms. And so I did a whole YouTube video last year where I got all my mushroom products and I lined them up, and I just did, it was like took forever. It was like an hour or something, but I iodine tested all of my mushrooms, and if it
Wow.
turned, I can't remember what color it was not a mushroom. It was like a filler. And then if it, turned, I don't know, is it blue? I can't, it was brown and blue, I think, were the two colors. I don't remember which
Okay.
one was which, but if it turned whatever the color was, that meant it was bio appropriate or bioreal, whatever the word would be for that. Anyway,
Okay.
I was, happily surprised that like the Om mushrooms that I was,
Mhm.
utilizing were real and were legit. And even the Paul Stamets, stuff tested well. And
Mhm.
I was happy. But I will just send this caveat out to people that I had a negative experience with the companies that mix multiple mushrooms in one
Mhm.
package. And the teacher told us that he does not recommend mixing, he calls them
Mhm.
species. So you don't buy those products that have like 5 different species in a coffee or whatever. He was not a proponent of that. And so I learned from my own personal experience, because I was checking my metabolic flexibility, and it was sinking, it was diving, and I stopped taking the mushroom coffee that I was drinking after 90 days of my metabolic flexibility, which is basically reading your mitochondria to find out how well your body metabolizes, how well your cells metabolize what it is that you're ingesting. And I was ingesting this mushroom coffee. I'm not going to say the name of it. I just want everyone to know, like, just be aware. Like, not everything that is pitched out there in the world is always good. So you need to test things for yourself and make sure that they're right for you. And so I love talking to Heather here because she's explaining to us how important it is, the quality control that they're putting on their products. So that's important. Again, I keep saying that,
Yeah.
but it's so true. I just want to reiterate that, trust
Yeah.
your manufacturer.
I'm going to have to look up this iodine test because I would love to be able to recommend this too, because, that's one of the hardest things is being able to create and have a way to test at home, because we're using, high level spectrometer analysis and doing
Right. All you
all
need is
this
the
stuff like
iodine
that.
bottle.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
all
like,
you needed was a little iodine bottle from Sprouts, and you do a dropper or something, on the powder, and it'll turn a certain color. And he was like, it's so simple. You can just use iodine, because basically it's testing whether something is live and bio, if it's really bio or if it's filler. And if
yeah.
it's dead filler, it's not going to have a bioreaction. That was his point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I can't
Okay.
remember the
Yeah.
guy's name that I took the class from, but offline I'll email it to you and show you the course. He might be doing more of them, but he's like a 30 or 40-year-old expert on mushrooms.
Well, and that's wonderful to have a test that consumers can do at home to feel confident in what they're ingesting, because so many times, we just take for granted, and we take something because someone tells us something, feeds us great marketing. And I always, am cautioning people, in regards to that. Anybody can say anything, and especially in the supplement industry, in which it is not a highly regulated industry. And it same with skincare, same thing, not a highly regulated industry. You just have to register your products. You have to, do the basics, and some don't even do that. And the FDA is only highly understaffed and can't keep up with the volume of all of these products coming out, all of these facilities popping up that are creating all of these different products. So knowing that you have a way in which you could at least definitely test the mushrooms at home is critical. Because fillers are a huge thing, and sometimes even supplement manufacturers that might be using a contract manufacturer, if they're not doing third-party testing, they might not know that their contract manufacturer is shorting them and putting in rice holes and things like that. So it's very important to be your own best advocate in that sense and know what you're consuming.
Yeah, if you want me to test yours on a YouTube video, send me some mushrooms.
Okay. Deal.
Anyway, okay, so we've talked. So did you say everything about the aloe vera product? Tell the name of that again. You said SS something.
SSAV. So it's super strength aloe vera capsules is what that stands for. We shortened it to an acronym a little while ago. It just became a mouthful. So, and that way it also doesn't akin it to the things that you see on the store shelves and stuff like that, because you won't find us on the store shelves. And that is on purpose. We are recommended by the medical community, and then patients order directly from us. So doctors recommend us. So
yeah, you were telling me, tell us a little bit more about who you're usually talking to in conferences and such.
So yeah, I do talks all over the world for clinicians. I do a lot of women's health education all over the world too. So it's very important for me. I taught one of the first women's pelvic and sexual health courses in Turkey in 2022.
Wow.
Yeah, I just recently, well, almost. I got to do a little bit before I was in Peru. I got kicked out of the country for educating women
on sexual products,
on pelvic and sexual health, like how to take care of their biomes, how to do pelvic floor exercises.
Did they arrest you? Like, how did they kick you out of the?
Yeah, I got detained. Yeah.
Golly, were you scared?
Oh yeah, like horribly. The only good news I had is that my
Your partner?
Yeah, my partner, he actually, they would only speak to him. They wouldn't speak to me because I was a woman.
Wow.
So yeah.
And you're a pretty woman, so they probably didn't like that either.
Yeah, no, they literally made me. So I spent an entire day till about 3 a.m. when they released my husband. My husband literally had to spend time back and educating them on what pelvic and sexual health was, and that it's not just for women, it's not just for men, it's for both.
So tell us about it. I want to learn a little bit more about your sexual health products. Like, tell us the problems people have, and then tell us how you help them.
So we have a variety of things. We work a lot with women who have vaginal atrophy, which is a big thing. We have, especially postmenopausal.
Is that like the muscles aren't tight anymore?
No, so this atrophy is dryness. So vaginal dryness. We're talking whether it's due to breast cancer, related treatments, postmenopausal, menopausal related atrophy, dryness. We look to, with the Aloe Glide, it is an FDA cleared medical device as a sexual lubricant and a vaginal moisturizer. So as a result, we recommend that product for insertion vaginally, just to keep tissues healthy, separate of sex. And it can also be used with pelvic health tools. The great thing about it is it helps you, it goes down, aloe vera is a carrier, so it goes down through all the layers and helps push your moisture back up. So you're also getting your own moisture brought back to the surface.
It's nourishing the activity of moisturizing. So it's like turning on the booster engines to get your own moisture back going.
Exactly. And so one of the most important things that I tell women especially is in regards to sexual lubricants is we focus so much on pH. And pH is an important part to help not breed bacteria But one of the other most important things in regards to lubricants is osmolality. And what that is this is how fluid flows in and out of your vaginal wall, of your epithelial cell layer. This is your barrier, your protection to STIs, bacteria, fungus. And the
Almost like
problem,
your immune system is in there.
yeah. So, well, the problem is that if you use, so ideal vaginal osmolality is 290, and you only want products that are plus or minus 80 points to go into your vagina. And
Okay.
just to give you an idea, the World Health Organization did a study in 2016 with third country sex workers. And this is the only study that's been done related to osmolality and lubricants. And most lubricants on the market were the ones you typically see in the stores were 10,000, 9,000, 8,000.
So they're killing cells while they're in there, right?
Yeah. So literally the cells will dry out and they
Yeah.
will fall out.
Yeah, because it
And
probably has alcohol in it or something like that, right?
mhm.
For that protection. They think they're killing all the bacteria with something sharp, something harsh.
Yeah, it's usually a chemical ingredient that usually
Yeah.
causes the high osmolality. There are actually only two sexual lubricants on the market that are actually isoosmolar, and Desert Harvest Aloe Glide is one of those. Vaginal osmolality 290, Desert Harvest is 308.
Right. We got to get the word out for that because I know
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not going to name the name, but it's initials,
Mhm.
that people use. It's
Mhm.
the
Oh.
initials and it ends in Y. People use these things and they don't understand. They don't understand why they're not getting better, right?
Exactly,
It's the
exactly.
product that makes you wanna have to keep buying it because you think you're getting a relief from it, but the truth is it's causing you to have to keep buying it over and over, right? It's made for that.
And then the other problem becomes if you are choosing, if anal sex is your thing, that is a completely different biome. So if
Yes.
you utilize a vaginal acidic lubricant in the anal biome, your epithelial cell layer instantaneously falls out because the anal biome is an alkaline environment. It has to have the alkalinity. And so will literally just fall out.
Yeah, you don't wanna make it acidic in there,
Yeah,
right?
no. So if you multi-use a product, don't. Vaginal lubricants are not meant for the anal biome.
That just while we're on the subject, and by the way, that's not my preference, but I'm just curious, like people who use soap or whatever to clean their products or their tools or whatever. I mean, is that affecting the biome in there if their products have acidity? Like do they need to be
Potentially.
careful? Like they need to be putting some kind of a alkaline thing on their product, on their tools that they use?
Yes. So, for instance, Desert Harvest has aloe fresh wipes. And these can be used on the go, like you can put in your purse, bathroom, wherever. And they're meant to help clean up maybe after sex, but also to reset pH. So they can be utilized to clean tools, whether they're pelvic health tools, sexual tools. You can literally utilize those to clean because one, medical grade silicone will eventually degrade over time and be porous and have bacteria. And you have to be very careful about the integrity of medical grade silicone. And most soaps can actually degrade it
Break
further.
it down. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then you're
And
putting microplastics in you, right?
yes, exactly. And so, like Desert Harvest, we have our Easy Magic Thera wands. These are pelvic wands that can be used vaginally or anally to access the pelvic floor and help get into
Spread
trigger
it
points.
around. Yeah.
Well, they're meant to go into the muscle and massage the muscle to release trigger points. So most people think, oh, let me go do my Kegels and my pelvic floor must be weak. I'm leaking. Most of the time they're hypertonic. They're like a dish rag that's been wrung out. And if you started doing Kegels when your pelvic floor was in a hypertonic
In a
state,
tight, yeah.
yeah, in a tight state, it will literally do more damage. And so what you need to be able to do is to release those pelvic floor muscles and then strengthen them back up. And that's where the Easy Magic Thera wands come in, because you can use them internally, but you can also use them externally to be able to access like the true core muscles, and external muscles as well.
That's fascinating. This just comes to mind because I just got one. Have you ever seen one of those whole body vibration plates that you stand on and they shake your body? Have you ever seen those?
Yes, yeah,
Okay,
I
there's
think I
like I
have.
have one that I got. It's called a Life Pro, and when I sit on it because it's just very relaxing. It's like if you have ADHD or anxiety or anything like that, any kind of nervous disorder for your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system, I highly recommend like sitting on one if you don't want to stand, because just the rocking of it, it actually calms, the system. But I'm bringing it up for a reason. Is it possible that something like, has there been any studies that if you vibrate your body that it relaxes those muscles you're talking about in the vaginal wall area? Is there any kind of study like that?
Yes, there actually is. There's a company, they make a product called Mcella. It is a chair that is utilized at a lot of med spas, PT practices, and the whole point of this chair and all of their medical research related to it has been the fact that vibrations can help with releasing the pelvic floor.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, then there's a whole nother reason I'm doing it every morning.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I turn on my coffee water and I go sit on my thing, and it just relaxes me from waking up, and then I get on with my day.
Ah, perfect. You're starting your day just right. The other thing that you can do also that really helps your pelvic floor is yoga.
Okay.
So pelvic floor physical therapy, a lot of the exercises are yogic in origin. So if you ever think about our yoga practitioner, one part of your body is always engaged and one part of your body is in a relaxed state. It's a balance. And so the same thing can happen with strength training that also will engage your pelvic floor part of your, and especially if you go into the Hindu yogic traditions, the chakras.
I love that. I'm totally into chakras.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for those who don't know, I just want to say this before we wrap up, is that a chakra, a lot of people don't realize this, but the chakra energy is outside the body, like the rings of Saturn. They go around our body. That's why when people walk in a room, they light up a room. It's because their energy is outside of them. I mean, we used to always think that chakra energy was inside the body, but there's new science that says it actually is like 7 layers of outside the body. So have you
Yeah.
heard that?
And that's why they say that when you're doing meditation and other things and you're hitting, activating a certain chakra, you're activating everything within that area. And that is why. So when you're activating your pelvic chakra, you are literally activating everything within your pelvis right there. And then same thing when you get to your navel and so on and so forth.
So it's the root, right? The
The
pelvic
root
is the
chakra.
root, and then the
Mm-hmm.
sacral, and then the solar plexus is next, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends. So like, it's interesting because yogic has 7, Buddhist has 5 chakras.
Oh, okay.
But they align theirs with the elements. So there's,
Like,
air,
yeah,
earth,
fire,
fire,
water.
water, and the 5th is space, the
Oh,
space that's
neat.
in us and all around us.
Wait, who's that? The Buddhist?
Yes, yeah,
Oh,
Buddhist.
okay. I'm going to
Yeah.
a gong event on Saturday. I go get my gong energy on. It moves like water in the body, like if you have a sound and it goes gong, it shakes the water in the body, and gongs really do move stuck energy. So I do
Oh
that once a
yeah.
month.
I did sound healing. I was at an event with Deepak Chopra, and we did sound healing on a beach in Greece. And I will say it was
Lovely.
one of the most serene experiences ever in my life. And actually, I'm actually teaching We're actually getting ready to announce this tomorrow, so little secret.
Might as well announce it now.
Yeah, might as well announce it now. But I am actually doing a 8-day, 9-day retreat in Egypt next year with Deepak Chopra's yogi, Sarah Plattfinger, one of the co-founders of Ishta Yoga. And so I'm bringing the science, she's bringing the spiritual aspect, and we're merging them together. And so we will be teaching throughout this, but also at the same time being able, so like, you know, we're actually going to get to meditate in between the Sphinx legs where nobody gets to go.
In the tomb, in the
yeah.
Egyptian
yes.
tomb.
Yeah.
The king's
And
tomb, I think.
We're also going to get to meditate inside Queen Hatshepsut's temple with nobody else in there. So this is going to be like private access like you've never seen. We're also going to get to be able to do the same thing in Isis's temple. So this is just going to be a beautiful experience about learning how the spiritual aspect of the yogic experience can be tied in with the scientific aspects. So
I love that. And I'm 1 degree of separation from Deepak because I have another podcast called Oneness Junkie podcast where I talk about that type of activity, going into the tomb and meditating. So maybe we'll talk and we can have you talk about it over there when you're starting to promote it. But I wanted to tell you that in 2009, I created a t-shirt that says Oneness and then Junkie. And I gave it, Deepak came to our church because we hired him to speak, and I gave him a couple t-shirts. And then I saw him post wearing his Oneness Junkie t-shirt at the gym in New York. And so
that's awesome.
if you see him wearing a Oneness Junkie t-shirt, I created it in 2009.
Awesome. I'll have to check that out.
It's made out of bamboo. Yeah, I'll send you the photo. I have a picture of me and Deepak somewhere around this house. So that's exciting. And I'm very much into this the Egyptian stuff because do you know who Matthias DeStefano is? Okay. Well, he's on my other channel. I'm a Gaia.com affiliate, and he's one of the presenters on Gaia Network. And he takes people to Egypt and does exactly what you're going to do, is go inside the temples, and they have activations he has a program called Initiation because he remembers all of his past lifetime experiences, and he teaches people about being Lemurian or being, Anunnaki or being whatever. So it's really exciting, but we won't go off on a different tangent. Do you have anything else? I know you have limited time, so do you have anything else that you want us to know that I didn't ask you about?
Oh, goodness. Definitely check out our website.
Tell everybody how to find you. What's the .com?
I think it's behind us here, but desertharvest.com. Definitely check us out. We have a great customer service team. If you have any questions about the product, and I'm sure if anything pops up here on YouTube, Lydia can definitely reach out to me too. We are always more than happy to engage, provide the education, provide the clinical research, testing, anything else like that, because this is our audience. I guess one thing I should mention is starting tomorrow, we actually launch Lunation, which is another product I guess I should mention because
tell us, yes, please.
This
Scoop.
Yes, Inside Scoop. So this is actually dropping in Us Weekly magazine tomorrow.
Okay.
And Lunation is a new type of period panties, urinary leakage, incontinence of any kind. And literally we made a new fabric made out of aloe vera, out of our aloe vera. Yeah.
That's exciting.
So we wanted to create
fibers. Is the aloe vera fibers kind of like bagasse or something? You know how sugarcane has bagasse?
Yeah, so we are utilizing the rind fibers to be able to create the fabric, and it's going to have the same antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial. We have a ginger fabric layer in there for deodorizing, and then everything else is made of bamboo. And because everybody wants to feel sexy, even if maybe not the most sexy time of their life, we made them. They're made out of a beautiful lace around the band that stretches, doesn't dig in. And every single batch of Lunation fabric will be tested, and the testing will be posted to show that no chemical ever touched these fabrics ever.
I could do an iodine test on them.
Yeah, there you go.
What are the sizes? Like from what to what are your sizes?
This will be fully inclusive. So we're going to go all the way from extra small to plus size. And the reason is because we want to make sure that this covers all spectrum of women, and is available in all sizes for all women. So we'll be dropping initially just the first version, the first color. We're going to start taking pre-orders. We're probably going to ship sometime in January 2025 that we should be starting to ship, but we wanted to align and at least have something up with the fact that Us Weekly was running the article, and then there's going to be an article, I think in January in Vogue. So we're really excited. So
That's
check it out.
amazing. And does it? Are you able? Do you still wear pads or whatever for if you're still having your period?
No. These are completely absorbent, period, panties.
Wow.
So you can these will hold up to essentially, I think, don't quote me on this because we just finished this testing. I think it's like 3 tampons worth
Wow.
that of absorbency that it will hold. So
That's amazing.
yeah.
I used to be in the 90s. I was a medical sales rep, and I sold, of course, elderly diapers. And I remember, that's got tons of polymers and chemicals in it from oil, extraction. And this sounds a lot better, even for the elderly, right? To
Oh,
have.
yeah, because what's out there right now, whether you don't know, most of the period panties or the urinary incontinence, they all have chemicals. One of them just recently tested. A lot of them tested for PFAS, other heavy metals, other things like that, and we're utilizing these in one of the most delicate sacred parts of our body as women.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Will you come back when those are ready when we can hold them up and
Oh
talk
yeah.
about them? Let's do another podcast where we just talk about your panties.
Okay, let's talk panties.
I mean, not necessarily your panties, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Our
figuratively,
panties.
yeah,
Hopefully, I'll be
yellow
wearing them too
panties.
by then.
Yes.
Well, and I'm glad you're going plus size because part of my podcast is about teaching people. I mean, when you ask Alexa how many people in the United States are overweight, it's 50%. So there is a large quantity of market that is underserved. And so when you do allow yourself to go out into the larger sizes, you match with the population. So I'm proud of y'all for, considering us.
Oh, yeah, you will see even on our page, and there's even more to come. You can actually see on our website a preview of the panties, and
Oh, good.
there's a
I'll go look.
picture, and you can see some of the different shapes and sizes. And actually, those are all Desert Harvest. So so we figured, and we've got we have more coming here soon.
Oh, exciting. I can't wait. I
Everybody's
was
doing.
looking for something that not necessarily the period part of it, but just natural, where I'm not putting lycra or whatever, around my body because I've heard a lot about the microplastics, and the chemical the off-gassing,
Yes.
of the chemicals. So I love that. Okay, well I feel like we're kindred souls and we have
Yeah.
lots of things in common, and I really really appreciate your time today. We went a little bit over, so hopefully you're not late for another appointment. And any final words that you want to say to the guests before we say goodbye to you?
No, other than, advocate for yourself. Advocate for yourself when you're with your doctor, when you're choosing products. Nobody else is going to do that for you. And we all now have the tools and the resources. We can access NIH research and validate different things. We can look at all of this. You are your own best advocate. If I can give any sage advice, it would be advocate for yourself and demand what you deserve.
Yeah, I agree. And I like to say, when we heal ourselves, we heal the world because,
Mhm.
happiness happens for me and you through our own sense of self, right? So take
Yeah.
care of yourselves, guys out there. All
Thank
right. Well,
you.
thanks for coming. You hang in there and we will talk to you soon.
Chat soon.